Hi guys, it's Lonette. So glad that you're tuning in today for a quick video post. Remember, if you want more information or you want scriptural references, be sure to go on over to LonetteBeatty.com and check out the Becoming Brave blog, and that's where you'll get all the details. All right, so there's something I want to share with you that God's been dealing on my heart for probably months now, probably since January. The Lord gave me a scripture in 2 Kings 13, where the prophet Elisha is about to die, and a king comes to him completely terrified of what is to come, afraid that he will be taken over by his enemies and the kingdom will be just completely demolished. What happens is God gives Elisha this illustration to give to the king. Go on over to 2 Kings with me real quick and we'll check it out together. This is 2 Kings chapter 13, and this is what he says. Elisha told him, "Get a bow and some arrows." And the king did as he was told. Elisha told him, "Put your hand on the bow." And Elisha laid his own hands on the king's hands. Then he commanded, "Open that eastern window," and he opened it. And then he said, "Shoot." So he shot an arrow, and Elisha proclaimed, "This is the Lord's arrow, an arrow of victory over Aram, for you will completely conquer the Arameans." So, the word that God's spoken to my heart over and over again over these last few months has been persevere. Ladies and gentlemen, God, I believe, in these days is telling his church to persevere. He has placed his hands over our hands, and he is saying, shoot that arrow. This is the arrow of the Lord. You will completely have victory. You will have complete victory over your enemies. So the king does this, and later on, Elisha says to him in verse 18, "Now pick up the other arrows and strike them against the ground." So the king picked them up and struck the ground 3 times. But the man of God was angry with him. "You should have struck the ground 5 or 6 times, he exclaimed. "Then you would have beaten Aram until it was entirely destroyed. Now you will be victorious only 3 times. Here's the deal. God is calling us to persevere. He is calling us to completely empty that quiver of arrows. This is the arrow of the Lord, ladies. We are the ones who God is giving victory to, and we do not stop until we are victorious. If God has sent you to a door, sweetheart, don't stop knocking until he opens it, because it's yours. If God has given you a word, don't stop until you receive the promise that he's given. So what does that look like to persevere? It looks like praying at a specific time every day for the same thing until God gives you revelation, until God opens up the way before you. It looks like laying on your face before God and worshiping until you feel breakthrough, until you feel his presence rush in. It looks like sending out resumes until the right job opens up. It looks like praying for that loved one over and over and over again and not being weary in well-doing, because you will reap a harvest if you do not faint. It is the Lord's promise. It is the Lord's victory. And victory is in perseverance. So dear ones, stay persistent, stay consistent, and persevere. If we can be victorious in conquering the land, then we'll be victorious in keeping the land. Be brave, dear ones. Remember, he's with you. Be strong and courageous. This is the arrow of the Lord, and he has given you victory.